chapter
Yep.
is called
Moving Forward.
Moving Forward.
You should be moving forward in your life regardless of relationships.
If you're looking to date new people, after you've done all of this work, gone through this entire book and all of these concepts and all of these practices, dating may seem like a really exciting idea because you've essentially healed and reinvented yourself in a lot of ways and let go of these cycles and problems that keep presenting themselves so you can do it better. So I'd like for you to think of dating as meeting somebody to see if you want to spend time with them. So when we met, I was coming out of this. So this book was written many, many years ago, probably 6 years ago. And I had written it because of my own process and my own understanding. And I had spent a lot of time alone. I had done all of this stuff. So when I was ready to date again, I had this mindset and attitude that I'm going to put myself out on dating apps. You know, internet dating is so much fun. And my mindset was, if I see someone and they look interesting enough just to have coffee with, just to meet up with, I'm going to say, yes, I want to meet you. I like you. Remember, heart, swipe right. It was on Facebook dating, actually, so I don't remember what it was. But anyway, when I made the decision to not try to look at a person and see if I wanted to spend the rest of my life with them, but maybe look at a person and see if I wanted to have a cup of tea with them, it became a lot easier to connect to new people. And I think you were the second person that I liked and who responded.
Second mouse gets the cheese.
Yeah. But that was a very cool space for me to be in because I had no attachment to an outcome. And I'm like, you know what? This guy looks kind of weird, kind of like how he's shown up. He had a picture of Mr. Rogers that he had put his face on. He had him like wear himself at the Renaissance Festival wearing a Viking helmet, being goofy. Like his quotes were ridiculous. So I'm like, okay, well, at least he's funny. And I was like, I totally want to meet him regardless. Like whether or not we click at all, I really want to know this person. That was where I was coming from.
And then when I saw, at the time she had dreadlocks, so it's a funny little, there it was, what's left of once was like a glorious mane of dreadlocks. It was like the remnant of a very tasteful set of dreadlocks. And I learned not to judge a book by the cover. And that was the year of 2019. I had so many changes and shifts in my own, all this stuff up here above my eyeballs. So when I saw the dreadlocks, I first thought, I grew up around hippies and I know hippie women. So, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I responded and she formed a full sentence and it was wonderful. She began with a fun little comment to me because of the Mr. Rogers picture. And I gave her my website, my phone number. I said, I've got to go be a dad for a little while, but I'll pick up this conversation later. And we did. And then I had a conversation with some magical woman who was not a hippie. She knew the name of her children, so I knew she was especially not. That was mean, wasn't it?
That was me.
Stop saying that. Okay.
You're talking to yourself, honey.
Over there.
No, you're still-
Bottom line is we had an amazing conversation. I had one last date from Bumble to do on a Friday, and thankfully
It didn't work out.
it didn't work out.
That's as far as you need to
Yeah.
go with that. Yeah.
So
It wasn't a yes.
it was, she was wonderful and we had a great time, talked about weird shit, but then I was like, ugh. I almost canceled our date, but we had a date set up to go to meet at Denny's.
Yeah.
Because if at our age you can't meet at Denny's for a date and it'd be okay, then no thanks.
This is how we got along from the beginning. And the last chapter of this book actually tells our story a little bit more. Our story is kind of everywhere in our stuff.
Yeah. But
we definitely talk about that openly because at midlife and who we are and our connection, we didn't have time to hide. We didn't have time to
Put on a fake
pretend.
anything.
Yeah, so it was very much, okay, well, this is where I'm at, this is where you're at, and ask me anything and I'm gonna be completely honest. And it's gonna be really awkward, and it was wonderfully awkward.
Yep, and we were both very honest.
Everything, so after, after our first date, which, kept going for a long time, we talked about everything that you can even think about talking about in every category of conversation
Yeah.
there is, because we were both in agreement that we didn't want to get 3 months into a relationship and find out that one of us had a huge red flag. And they're like, oh, well, I didn't know that about you. And the stuff that was like, okay, well, this is going to be, and again, this book, we have exes, we have kids, we have past, we have friends, we have all these things. We put all that on the table and said, are we willing to show up for each other, with each other, and do this together, no matter what this looks like, and no matter what shows up? Are we willing to be stronger than that?
No, this is something, men, I cannot stress this enough. Go do the work. Go do the work and take it seriously and be honest and realistic with yourself. Because I went through a deep amount of personal shadow work. That's a term you can look up. It means a lot of things.
Pretty popular now.
But I looked, as I've said many times in the other videos, deep in the mirror, and I had other men help me. So for me to be vulnerable with her wasn't like some skill I had to learn on the fly. I didn't have to like dig around in my butt and go, oh, here's something I can do. Sorry about that visual. But I've sat in a room full of men, some I didn't even know, and I've told them the deepest pains that I've ever felt. And I've dealt with that and I've processed it. And you can do that, and it can be safe and it can be healing. So that when you meet somebody who could potentially be the love of your life, and they ask, is there anything about you I need to know? You could just go, where would you like to start? Chapter 1, I had this, my parents, and then the kids, and ex-wife, and then anything else, Our joke was that our first date was, here's my shit, go fish. It's like, well, I have an ex and 2 kids. You got any fours? And then we did that back and forth. We had a combined set of tools, and it gave us both a shared vocabulary. And when you meet somebody who's done the work, you will know, because you will say things to each other and they will resonate in a way like no other conversation will. Moving forward is all about doing your work. And ladies, it's no different. When every one of us needs to look deeply into a mirror and go, who the heck am I? And what stories am I telling myself? And what am I not taking responsibility for? What am I not willing to admit to? What permission don't I think I have? Deal with it. Because when you meet the love of your life, I had no idea. Neither of us had any clue we were about to meet.
We didn't know this was gonna happen.
The way we did, because we were engaged 2 weeks after our first date.
So we met in November, the end of November in 2019. And obviously in early 2020, the world went crazy, and you moved in February.
Yeah, moved in February of 2020.
So you were here, and then the world went crazy. So we were in isolation for the time.
Well, we live in Arizona, so we didn't really have to suffer that much, but
we
we
were
were
forced into togetherness.
Yes, deeply.
In a very special way.
And it was great.
And in that time, we created a company. We started doing work together. He got fired from his job, the perfect time. And it was all just like,
yeah,
the firing was comical, and like it all just worked out.
I call it being unhired.
Being unhired. It was so perfect. So we created a company. We started working with local restaurants and businesses, and we're still doing that. And what we've realized recently is that what we're here to do is help you heal through your past relationships, find yourself, your truth, your values, and what's real for you so you can create your best life. So this book is just a piece of what we do and what we share and how we like to help people. So if you have a copy of it, I just realized that there's our website on the back is junction42.com, and that is one of the ways you can reach us. We also are at Andrea and Jeremie King.com for our personal coaching and online courses, which is a completely different world. Junction 42 is actually our business clients. So we work with local companies to help them have better guest experiences. We do art installations and all kind of really fun design, illustration, and murals and stuff
Feng
like that.
shui and flow and how to make people feel respected and
we really
why
like
the menu needs to read better, everything.
Yeah. So we really like to help people have the best life experience possible. And that goes for the companies we work with and people individually. So if you've come this far and watched this, we appreciate you for your time and your attention.
Yeah, we really want you to have everything you deserve. We want to know everybody who watches these videos can go away with a plan and a motivation that lasts them, not just for a couple days. And you find joy in your life and you find all sorts of wonderment that makes your life worth living.
Keep doing your work on yourself and always take that risk. Go on the dating app, go on vacation with yourself, whatever it is, whatever you're resisting, go do that. You'll definitely appreciate it later.
Take care, everyone.
See ya.